Leonardo da Vinci carried a strange habit with him everywhere he went. When he walked through the streets of Florence, he would suddenly stop and stare at the way water flowed in a fountain, at the wrinkles on an old man's face, at how birds tilted their wings while landing. Sometimes he would follow strangers just to study how they moved, not because he was suspicious, because he was curious. And the strange part is this: Leonardo believed that most people go through life without ever truly seeing anything. Now think about today. We live in a world filled with information, thousands of videos, posts, messages, notifications every single day. But despite seeing more than any generation in history, we might actually observe less. We scroll past things instead of studying them. We skim ideas instead of understanding them. We consume information without really noticing anything deeply. Leonardo da Vinci lived in the exact opposite way, and the habit he built around observation quietly became the foundation for one of the most extraordinary minds in human history. Because Leonardo didn't just look at the world, he interrogated it. And the secret behind that habit might completely change the way you see your own life. Leonardo was not born into privilege. He wasn't formally educated like most scholars of his time. He didn't attend a university. Many intellectual elites of the Renaissance considered him an outsider. But Leonardo had something far more powerful than formal schooling. He had endless curiosity. And curiosity led him to develop a daily ritual that most people today would find strange. He carried small notebooks everywhere, thousands of pages of them. Inside those notebooks were not just ideas. They were questions, endless questions. Why does the sky look blue? Why do birds flap their wings differently when landing? Why does water spiral when flowing through narrow spaces? Why do muscles move the way they do under skin? Leonardo didn't accept the world at face value. He dissected it with attention. And this is where something fascinating happens psychologically. Most people believe intelligence comes from knowing answers. Leonardo believed intelligence came from noticing better questions. Observation to him was not passive. It was an active investigation of reality. And once you understand this, you begin to see something surprising. Leonardo's greatest inventions didn't begin with brilliance. They began with watching carefully. His flying machine designs came from studying birds. His anatomical drawings came from observing how muscles stretched and contracted. His engineering ideas came from staring at flowing water for hours. He would watch rivers and sketch how currents twisted around obstacles. He once wrote that water revealed the secret movements of nature. This was not random curiosity. It was a disciplined habit. Leonardo believed that the human mind becomes extraordinary when it trains itself to notice details others ignore. And this is where the story becomes personal. Because the biggest obstacle most people face today is not lack of intelligence. It's distraction. We move too quickly through our own lives. We rush through conversations. We rush through problems. We rush through experiences. And when you rush, you stop observing. You stop seeing patterns. You stop asking deeper questions. Leonardo understood something deeply uncomfortable about human nature. The mind naturally becomes lazy. It stops paying attention. It assumes it already understands things. But real insight comes from doing the opposite, from slowing down long enough to notice what everyone else overlooks. And here's the twist most people miss about Leonardo. His genius wasn't just artistic, it was observational discipline. He trained his mind like a scientist of everyday life. He would sit for long periods studying faces, studying shadows, studying movement. He once spent hours watching how expressions formed around people's mouths when they laughed. Not because he needed to, but because he wanted to understand the mechanics of emotion. Imagine doing that today. Imagine walking into a cafe and actually noticing the micro expressions on people's faces. The way someone taps their fingers when anxious. The way someone leans forward when they are interested. Most people would miss all of it. Leonardo wouldn't, because he believed the world constantly reveals secrets to those who observe patiently. And here is the deeper philosophy hidden in his habit. Observation is a form of thinking. When you observe carefully, your brain begins connecting ideas automatically. Patterns emerge, questions appear, solutions become visible. Leonardo didn't force creativity. He watched the world until creativity appeared naturally. This idea might sound simple, but it is radically powerful. Because many people today try to solve problems by thinking harder. Leonardo solved problems by seeing better. He looked longer, he asked deeper questions. He remained curious about things that others dismissed as ordinary. And over time, those small acts of attention accumulated. Observation turned into insight. Insight turned into invention. Invention turned into legacy. But there is one final realization that makes Leonardo's habit even more powerful. Observation does something strange to the mind. It quiets it. When you truly observe something, your mind stops wandering. It stops jumping between worries. It becomes focused, present, still. Leonardo wasn't just studying the world. In many ways, he was training his mind to remain attentive. And attention is the hidden currency of intelligence. Where you place your attention shapes what you understand, and what you understand shapes what you become capable of creating. Leonardo placed his attention on everything: a leaf, a bird, a wrinkle, a drop of water. Nothing was too small to study. And through that habit, the ordinary world became an endless classroom. The strange truth is this: Leonardo didn't see a different world than everyone else. He simply looked longer. And that small difference created one of the greatest minds humanity has ever known. Which leads to a quiet question worth asking. How many ideas, solutions, or insights might already exist in your life? But you've never noticed them because you never stopped long enough to observe?